was so excited when I got my first sewing machine, my industrial sewing machine. And the technician that helped me couple this together was the person that taught me how to thread my sewing machine properly. He taught me once and he asked me to repeat what he just did. And I did get it because I paid close attention to everything he was doing. And I was able to thread my sewing machine for the first time on my own after learning once. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking off everything from the sewing machine, and we're going to be threading this sewing machine from the beginning together, step by step. So that is what this video is all about. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if this video was of any help to you. Now the step 1 is for me to place the thread on the spoon pin and take it through the eye here, through the small hole that you're seeing here. So let's do that. I'm just going to get my thread, and I want to say something. If you have just one thread that you're working with, you don't have extra, you have to reel your thread in your bobbin before you start threading your sewing machine. So if you have just particular one thread that you want to use, you don't have another thread to use to reel, I will advise you now to reel your thread through the bobbin and then thread your sewing machine. But then if you have extra, let's go ahead and start threading the sewing machine. Now I'm just going to place my thread on the spoon pin. So this is a thread. I'll take off a strand before placing it on a spoon pin. So you can pick any one, you can either use any of it, it's your choice. So I'll place this here, and then from the back of this eye here, this small hole you're seeing here, from the back I'll take my thread through the back. So you're taking your thread through the back like this, and then you bring it out from the front like this, and then you just keep dragging it down. And now we're going to pass this through the second step, and this is where we're passing this through. This is the step 2, and this is just a thread guide. Okay, I call it a thread guide. I don't actually know the name for it, but I call it a thread guide. So I'm just going to pass my thread through the hole here on the thread guide. So you pass it like this and bring it out here like this, and then we go into the step 3. So we started from the spoon pin and now through the thread guide, and now step 3. Now step 3 is for us to pass the strand of thread through this point here. Okay, I actually don't know the name for this, but I also see it as a thread guide number 2. So yeah, it's just guiding the thread. So I'm just going to pass. You can pick any of the holes, but I'm just going to use the middle. I'll pass this through the thread guide here, through the middle, and then we go into step 4. So hope you've gotten to the stage, and hope you did exactly what I just did. Step 4 is for us to pass this through the tension discs. Okay, this is known as the tension discs, and we're going to pass the thread through the tension discs. Now on this point, I want you to pay close attention. Okay, since we have our thread at this point, step 3, now step 4, we're going to pass it through the tension discs, and the tension discs is this thing you're seeing right here. We're going to put the thread through it like round. I'm just going to take my camera like this so you can see that there is a space here. It's very tiny, it's very close, it's very tight. You just have to pass your thread through it. Okay, you're going to take your thread around it as if you're going over it. So where my needle is touching, and this is how you take your thread through it. Carefully like this, just make sure it goes in that tension disc. Okay, so once you have it through the tension discs, we're going to go into step 5, which is we're going to now pass the thread through the check spring. Okay, so you can see how neatly it is sitting on the tension disc. This is how yours is supposed to be. Now step 5 is for us to pass it through the check spring and also a thread guide. Now this is a check spring. This thing here, right here, is called a check spring, or I call it a check spring, but I think that's the name. You pass it through the check spring and then through a thread guide. Now this thing here, this one here is a check spring, and this next one here is a thread guide. Let me do it again. I'm just going to pass it through the check spring like this, and then through a thread guide like this. Okay, this is a thread guide. And then we'll move into the next step, which is step 6. And for step 6, we're going to be taking this through the take up lever. Okay, now this is what is known as the take up lever, okay, or lever, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but then I'm going to be passing it from this side and then bring it out from the other side. So it goes in through here and comes out through here, and this is known as the thread take up lever or lever or levy. So see me pass this through the small hole on the take up lever, and then step 7 is for me to bring it down through the thread guide that we have over here on the right. So here we go back to a thread guide. This is also known as a thread guide. You can see that we have 2 sitting on both sides. And now we move to the next stage, which is for us to properly thread the needle. But before then, I took off the needle because I want to fix the needle with you guys, and I wanted to let you know that before I like to thread my bobbin before I put in my needle. I don't know, I feel like whenever I am threading my bobbin and my needle is there, it always breaks or something happens to the needle. So I like to thread my bobbin first, and that is what we're going to do. So make sure you put on your power switch, and then take a strand of thread and pass this through your bobbin. This is your bobbin. This is known as the bobbin. Take a strand of thread and pass it through the bobbin like this with your hand manually, but you're not going to be doing too much. You're just going to take it like 3 to 4 times round. Just make sure it's sitting tight. And now we're going to place this here. This is where you reel your bobbin. Okay, you place it like this, push it in like this, and then you press this in. It is out right now. You press it in like this. Okay, did you see that? Let me take it back now. This is out. You press it in like this. Now hold on to your thread, but not tight, not firm. Just lightly hold on to the thread, and then press the presser foot, or I don't know what you call it. Just put your leg on this red stuff right here. If yours is red, whatever color it is, just put your foot on it, and please do not match too hard. Just press gently and reel your thread. Now it's just going to reel, and while you are doing this, make sure you hold on to your thread very, very lightly. Okay, hold on to it lightly and just press your foot slightly too. Do not press hard, do not hold hard, and just reel your thread. Now once you're done reeling, take this out back just the way it was before, like this. See, take it out like this, and then take out your bobbin and go ahead and cut your thread. Now off your sewing machine, put off the sewing machine, and then cut your thread. I'm just going to cut it, and make sure you don't have too much of thread hanging out. Okay, just make sure you have like this little. And now we're going to be, step 9 is for us to put in the bobbin into the bobbin case. Now what I have on my left hand is the bobbin case, and the bobbin is on my right. Now this is the bobbin case, and this is how it looks. So wherever you see this, as a beginner, you should know that this is a bobbin case. And now you're going to place your bobbin into the bobbin case like this. You see the hole that your bobbin has? It has that same kind of hole on the case. So you place the bobbin into the case. Now take your strand of thread and pass it through this point like this. Now watch me carefully. I'm going to take it through this point, and then I'm just going to slide it through this other point like this. It's very tiny, yes, but your thread can pass. Now make sure your thread gets to this point that I have mine right now. And another thing you need to make sure of before you are sure you have placed your bobbin very well into the case, make sure that when you pull your thread like this, it is freely moving like this on the bobbin case. Okay, that your bobbin is freely moving like this. You can see mine moving as I'm pulling the thread. You can see how it is moving in the bobbin case. Now this means that I have properly placed the bobbin into the case, and this is how I followed to place it. Step 10 is for us to place the bobbin case into the rotary hook or rotary hook. I don't know how to pronounce it. I have problem with pronunciation. So we're going to place the bobbin case into the rotary hook, and this is where you can find it. Just under your sewing machine like this. Follow my hand. You take your bobbin case with your bobbin in it, and remember your thread should be moving freely. Okay, now we're going to place it into this part here, which is the rotary hook. And I'm just going to place mine. So make sure that your bobbin case is sitting very well and firmly in the rotary hook. And to confirm, just pull this out a little bit and just make sure that it is all sitting very well. Okay, and now we're going to move into the step 11. Step 11 is for us to pass the thread through the needle, but before then I took off the needle from my sewing machine because I wanted us to put in the needle together. Now you guys, this part that is here, that you have this long middle opening, is the left side. It should sit on the left side, and this part here should sit on the right side. Now this part, look at it very well. It has like a middle opening and it's very long. That should be on the left side, and this part here should be on the right side. Now I'm just going to make sure that I place this in a way that the rough side, that has a middle opening that is very long, sits on the left, and the other one is looking at the right. And I'm just going to hold it like this and place it on the sewing machine like this. I'm just taking it through a hole that has been created for the needle to pass through. So while I am doing this, I'm just going to make sure that I adjust until the right side of the needle is facing where it's supposed to face, and the left side facing where it's supposed to face. Okay, so please confirm this before you go ahead and tighten the knots where your needle is sitting. Okay, now this is my screwdriver, and I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this knot here. This is what is going to make sure that the needle sits very firmly in the hole it was created to sit. Okay, this is just going to help it tighten up the space so the needle does not fall out when you sew. So make sure you make this very, very tight. Now for a quick recap, we went through the spoon pin, through this eye, through this thread guide number 1, and then we came out through this other side, and then through the thread guide number 2, and now we went through the side and we came down to the tension discs like this, and then through the checker spring and thread guide number 2, through the thread take up lever, and then we came down through the second thread guide. And now we are at this point that the thread need to go through another thread guide. So I'm just going to place the thread through the thread guide, and now step 12 is for me to pass the thread through the needle. And after taking this through this last thread guide, you can see what I just did. I'm going to take my thread through this hole here at the point where the needle is seated. Okay, there's a hole there. I don't know if you guys can see it, this tiny hole here. I'm going to pass my thread through it. I'll bring it out like this, and then from the left side I'm going to pass my thread through the needle to the right side. Now make sure you pass your thread through this point and then pass your thread like this from the left where we have that rough thing I talked about, and then you bring it out from the right, and that is it. You have successfully thread your sewing machine, and now you can sew. Now before we go on into sewing, I'm just going to bring out the thread from the bobbin, and to do this I need to turn the hand wheel. And yeah, this is the hand wheel. I'm just going to keep turning it like this. You can see me winding this or turning this up and down. This is just going to help me bring out the thread from the bobbin. Okay, so if I keep doing that, see what my needle does. It goes up and down, up and down, and it's just going to bring out the thread from the bobbin like this. Isn't this beautiful? And it feels like magic. Yeah, so now my thread from the bobbin is out to the surface, and yes, now you can go ahead and enjoy sewing on your sewing machine. Please let me know if this video was of any help. Let me know in the comment section, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you're new, you also want to stick around because I have awesome videos that will help you out as a beginner or intermediate. I think you're going to love my video. So thank you so much. I'll be seeing you guys on my next video to come. Love and light to you wherever you are. Bye for now.